midweek morning to you all. I hope your week is happy and joyful. Today's video is going to be all about something that might even rival the lights of the Newport boat cruise. Moose and I last night went over to that wonderful neighborhood in North Orange County that I was telling you about that has for years been doing the most beautiful Christmas light display. A whole neighborhood of blocks and blocks of homes. Also in this video, we're going to talk about beautiful Christmas sweaters and the stereotype that was put on these sweaters long ago, 25 years ago, as ugly Christmas sweaters. I will share my collection, not a huge one, a little short collection of the sweaters that I've had for many years that I think are part of the old beautiful sweaters. I think at this point it might be time to add my nails. Now my daughter Margie did give me some of those paper nails. I have put some of them on and some of them I've painted. And let me show them to you. I'll try and get up close. Aren't they pretty? Some are Santa Claus faces, some are sparkly, some are painted, and some I drew some stripes on. So aren't they pretty? Thank you, Margie. They're kind of easy to do. The first one on my thumb, it was hard to do, but then I got the hang of it. You should try some of these. There's some really cute Christmas ones. One of these is a Santa Claus with Santa Claus hats on it. Now these nails are called Color Street. Margie has a friend who sells these, and they're called 100% real nail polish strips. And the last time I did these, when we did a spa day, these nails, Margie showed me how to put them on, and these nails stayed on, I think, at least 12 or 13 days, and finally I took them off. So if you invest in these, they do last a long time, and you do get the hang of it after a while too. It's not hard to do. You don't need any tools to do it. I'm also going to do a little cooking segment, and right now he wants me to whip up a little tomato bisque soup because it's nice and cold. We're not going to put a fire on quite yet. We're in the middle of a violent storm here in California, rainstorm and winds, but fortunately we beat it last night. And although there were many cars going through besides ours, that's what you do. You ride through these neighborhoods and down the side streets, and Moose and I took turns with the camera back and forth, depending on the side of the street that we thought was beautiful, and it was marvelous. And Moosey will be here in a little while to talk a little bit about what we saw. So once again, for your enjoyment and for those of you who just can't get out to see the lights of Christmas joy anywhere, this is going to be a real treat, and I hope you enjoy it. It's thrilling, and each one is different. Sometimes I think we might have gone in our weaving around, might have gone down the same street, might have put the same light up. It was kind of hard to distinguish, and I had to do a lot of editing on it too. Moosey and I I was driving, and Moosey and I were passing my phone back and forth. So in between, if we didn't shut the video off, I had to get the car out and setting up. Sometimes I forgot to put my window down and you'd see a little bit of rain on the windshield. But Moose did a great job. Now, as you know, everyone refers to the Christmas sweaters as ugly Christmas sweaters. And that terminology was put upon sweaters, I would say 20 years ago, maybe even sooner. And someone, whether it was the media or someone who was the Christmas Grinch grumpy, decided that he or she didn't like Christmas sweaters. Christmas sweaters from then on took on a stereotype of being ugly. And everyone started having ugly Christmas sweater parties, and people would either make their own to look absolutely ridiculous or completely funny or outrageous or whatever. But long ago, when I was teaching little children, and every year would buy a new beautiful Christmas sweater, they did manufacture and create beautiful Christmas sweaters. And I have a little collection, and all of them except perhaps the one I'm wearing, and my little outfit might be bordering on in between that stereotype and beautiful, but I did get this in Walmart, the sweater that I'm wearing, about 2 years ago, I believe. It was probably two and a half, right before Christmas. And I have gotten many, many compliments on it since then. And I include it in my collection of beautiful Christmas sweaters. I have about 8 that I think are my lovely collections. And every day during the Christmas season when I was teaching school, and I taught the little ones, first, second, or third grade, and the children just loved them and said, "Oh, I liked yesterday's sweater," or, "Oh, that's such a pretty one, it makes us smile." So there was a time years ago when we wore beautiful Christmas sweaters. Now I'm going to start sharing some of my pretty sweaters. Most of them are 20, 25 years old, some even older. In fact, the red one that I wore the other day with the gold around the top that a lot of you loved had a beautiful Christmas tree on it. That might be 35 years old because I remember wearing that when our older daughters were teenagers, maybe old teenagers. So let me start. I've hung some of them up here in the doorway, and I'm going to start. First of all, this sweater is the most recent, and I bought it 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Well, it was at Christmas time, so it had to be 2, maybe 3, in Walmart. And to me, it was the prettiest sweater that they were selling at the time. And it has a Christmas tree. It's a blingy Christmas tree, and real pretty sleeves. Do you see the, actually it had 3 of these ruffles. I had to cut one off, it was long and I didn't like the length. But the sleeves are loose and has a double ruffle, and it's a gold, sort of a lame, and I believe it has 2 slits on the side. By the way, I have my red pajama top on. I couldn't find a red blouse to put underneath it. And that's the most recent, and I think it's beautiful. Now this one is the red one that I wore yesterday, and this one probably is the oldest of all of them. Isn't it pretty? And it has the gold designs up here, little tiny, it's long. All of these sweaters are nice and long, and I thought this tree is beautiful. It has little gold ribbons on it, and believe it or not, this sweater has held up all those years. And this one, oh, I lied. I said all of them were this old. This I did buy also about, I think the same year I bought this, because I did wear it to a Christmas party. Now it's very sparkly. It's a beautiful sort of a deep red. And the prettiest part is in the back. Now this is a time and true Walmart sweater that I did get 2 or 3 years ago, and I did wear it at Christmas that Christmas. And look at the back. It is laced up from the top all the way down, then has a beautiful tie here, and is open at the bottom with a little bit of a design. And I thought this was pretty. I particularly loved the sparkle, and also no trees, but I love the sparkle and the lace on the back. This one is probably 19 years old. I bought it the year before we retired, and it was my last Christmas sweater teaching. And this was very beautiful. I remember buying this in Macy's, and the designs are beautiful. It has the red plaid. This one was expensive too. I debated about it, but it's a cardigan, and it has just unusual little trimmings on it. The prettiest part, I always fall for the Christmas trees. This Christmas tree is also decorated with ribbons and little tiny baubles. Aren't they pretty? They're not ugly, are they?
No.
I can always count on Moosey. This one, I could wear any time of the year. And I did buy this while I was teaching, of course. Do you remember this one?
That's semi-ugly.
No, this is not ugly. This is children of the world, all over the world. And if I could show you this up close, these are little children from Mexico. You can see he's wearing the sombrero. This is a little Dutch girl over here. And look at her little Dutch shoes and her braids. And this is the reason I bought it, because it's all about children all of the world. Look at Peru, all the countries here, Japan, what countries are here? I don't know, but they're maybe Africa, absolutely beautiful. And this has stars on the back, and even on the back, it has a dove. Oh, here's a little a person with red hair and a kilt, so you know he's from Scotland. And this denotes the world right here. So this sweater to me is very symbolic. And here's the dove of peace up here. And this is actually one of my favorites. Pretty. So it's not ugly, Moose, is it? All about little children. Two of these are vests. And I'll show you this one right now. This is a vest, and it's just a bunch of pretty presents, sparkly. Has two little presents on the back. This is one of the favorites, believe it or not, of my little third graders. I have another cardigan, and this is actually just buttons. This one also I bought the last year I was teaching, but they have the loose ties and braids and scarves. This is a little reindeer, a Santa Claus. He's a drummer man, the one at the bottom. These were not cheap sweaters at the time. Maybe that's why they're considered beautiful. My last cardigan with a little Santa on the back. And this is a Christmas tree with Santa Claus on the top, a little bling on it. Aren't they pretty? And that's it. The other one that's hanging up there, my very last, is more Scandinavian. As you know, you could wear something like this all year round. So I have a hint for all of you. If you want a pretty Christmas sweater, and you can buy the sweaters that they're selling in Walmart and Target and everywhere right now. Oops, one of my shoulder pads is slipping. Remember one of my hints to never, never, never look your age. Wear shoulder pads. Little kids love them. Moosey has a sweater that our little ones just love. They love to rub their hands on the sequins and change the colors, and ugly sweaters to me are beautiful too. So anyway, my hint for those of you who might like one of the older beautiful sweaters, try the thrift shops. Right now you can find a lot of Christmas sweaters that are from years gone by that are very, very beautiful. So that's a hint if you like thrifting like I do. We are going to put a fire on in the bedroom when you'll find Moosey and I in our satin silky PJs in bed having supper, and a fire in our rock fireplace in the bedroom. Maybe the next one. I have one or two left before Christmas.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. Christmas. And a merry
Kyle, Merry Christmas!
Thank you.
Merry Christmas!
What did you think of that nightly drive that we did last night through that wonderful neighborhood?
First, can I say one thing?
Sure.
That sweater's not that ugly.
No, I don't show ugly sweaters. I show pretty sweaters. This is pretty. I
I
said,
know. I heard all that. I just want to tell you, it's not ugly.
thank you. Well, you're one of several men that complimented me on this sweater.
Anyway, I liked our night last night. It was stunning. You know, you don't know what you're going to get into until you go there and see all those lights and all the efforts that were put into it. Which one did you like best?
Well, I thought the most beautiful one was, and I think a lot of you might agree with me, was the manger. There was, as we went by, and I think Moosey did a good job of capturing it. He had the camera at that point. It was Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus, and there were only a few of those, weren't there? Religious references.
Yeah.
The rest were beautiful, some very comical, but I think that might have been my favorite. What was yours?
Well, I went I think more to the artistic aspects where they would take different colored lights and circle them around a palm tree. I just love the effect that gave.
What we talked about on the way home was the enormous effort that these people have been doing, and evidently this has been going on for years. Our daughter Dub said that she saw this years ago, and we don't know whether these people do it out of love in their heart to make people happy during the Christmas time, or is it in their CC&Rs, their regulations of the neighborhood?
Yeah, I don't know.
It must cost them a lot of money.
And I'm sure they don't do it themselves because they're too artistic.
Oh, no.
There's too much involved. They must have contractors. Heck, we don't know. We'll have to find out.
Yeah.
And when we find out, I'll have my girl call your girl, let you know.
Yeah. Anyway, it was fun, and thank heavens we went last night, because I know I promised you that we were going to do this for you, especially for you that don't get out, and I think it was worthwhile. But we beat the rain. It's pouring right now.
I know. I was just telling you, I've got my hat on. I'm going to go out.
What are you going to do?
Well, it's raining cats and dogs out there, and I'm going to step in a poodle.
What a Mooseyism. That was a good one.
That was Jack Benny.
Oh, really? For those
And he does this.
Very good. For those of you who remember Jack Benny. One of our faves in those days.
You gotta be old.
Well, thank you very much. What do you think of my nails?
They're not ugly either.
No, I'm not in an ugly
Do I
mood
get a
today.
kiss before I go outside?
Ginny up. Mwah. Okay, off to the kitchen. Now I've just whipped up the tomato bisque soup. And as I do with most soups, I doll them up a little bit. With the cheddar cheese soup, I added broccoli, the cheddar broccoli soup. I added bits of broccolini heads with this wonderful tomato bisque soup. I did add curry. I put curry powder into it, and that's the way we've always liked tomato bisque soup. Now, I have to tell you, once again, it's my Walmart. They do these fresh soups, and they're not canned, and they're wonderful. They do lobster bisque, they do tomato bisque, they do cheddar, broccoli, and I buy them in Walmart. As you can see, I'll bring this up and show you. This is what this is. You should try these from Walmart. They're not canned. and they last in the refrigerator for a while. And this is the tomato bisque. And as I say, I'm always trying to save time. Look at this bisque soup with the curry. Isn't it yummy? I'm going to take these into Moosey now. The first time that we had this tomato bisque soup with curry in it, we were living in Scotland in the late 60s, early 70s, and we were at a rugby game with our dear friends, the Baubles, who are now living in Australia, I believe. They were from South Africa, absolutely loved them, and we had a tailgate picnic, and that's when we had this. We also had consommé soup. Of course, it was very cold at the rugby game, and we had consommé laced with sherry. So there's fun things you can do with soups. And we will be having a lot of soup, especially on a freezing cold day like it is now. So, by the way, while I'm here, I do want to address the poor people back east in all the states that have suffered from these tornadoes. I pray for the families that have lost people, that have lost everything, and my heart goes out to you all. We haven't forgotten all of you. Our world is full of trials and tribulations, especially natural disasters, and especially at this time, our prayers go with you. So it's time to say goodnight for now. Take all my bling off. I hope you liked my Christmas ornament earrings and my bling. A lot of these are my thrift shop ring, my thrift shop copper bracelet, which I love. These are not thrift shop, but I love those too. I hope you enjoyed this video. We really had fun going out and watching all the lights, and I hope you did too. Cooking's fun, showing off my pretty sweaters is fun, and of course, always having chats with Moosey. Thank you all so much for enjoying the video. I love your thumbs up. I love your comments. Good night for now. God bless us all.